Trump's team is now pushing real ID because, nothing says freedom like biometric checkpoints and a federally controlled surveillance database, conveniently rebranded as airport security. But real ID isn't new. It was cooked up back in 2005, right after 9/11. It was sold to the public as a security measure, went right alongside the Patriot Act. Isn't that crazy? Larry Ellison, CEO of Oracle, mentioned an idea about a national digital ID around the exact same time. So whose plan is this really? In reality, back then it was a soft rollout of a digital control grid. It's a federally standardized ID issued by your state, but dictated by federal law, embedding personal data in a machine-readable format, ready to be scanned, tracked, and eventually integrated into whatever digital leash they roll out with next. I'm sure it will be connected to Elon's Everything app soon. And here's where it gets even more twisted. It doesn't even confirm you're a US citizen. According to Homeland Security itself, the Real ID proves your identity and lawful presence, but contains no field that says citizen. It can be issued to non-citizens as long as they prove they're legally present. So the government is demanding a high security ID to access planes, trains, and federal buildings, but it won't even tell you who's a citizen and who's not. So this idea that, it will eventually be used for voter ID is the new MAGA 5G chess they're trying to pull out. Total nonsense. This is not about safety. It's just more control. If this was just about flying, why give the Secretary of Homeland Security the power to unilaterally expand the ID's requirements without any vote, any oversight, any public debate? That's exactly what Ron Paul warned about years ago. He exposed the Real ID Act for what it is, a national ID system in everything but name. And calling it voluntary is a joke, because if your state refuses to comply, your residents become second-class citizens. They won't be able to fly, can't enter federal buildings, can't access key services. In the eyes of the federal government, they no longer exist. And this is just phase one. The next phase is already obvious to anyone paying attention. Once the public gets used to carrying papers, it'll all go digital. And when it does, your access will be dictated by behavior, just like vaccine passports, just like the social credit system they want to roll out. They want to freeze your bank account if you protest, block your access if you don't comply. This isn't a conspiracy theory, folks. It's historical precedent. Ask the Canadian truckers. This isn't about stopping terrorism. It's about making sure the entire population is plugged into a system where your identity, your movement, your finances, and your very existence can be revoked with a push of a button. No, Real ID doesn't hold your vaccine records yet, or so they say, but it's the scaffolding, the foundation, the beta test. The final product will be a seamless system where everything about you is synced, scored, and scanned on demand. It's not about building prisons anymore. It's about making the entire world a digital prison, and your ID card is the ankle monitor. And if you're in the States and you've updated your driver's license anytime in the last decade, guess what? You probably already have it. It was a silent rollout. Just surveillance slipped into your wallet while you were distracted with TikToks and tariffs. Funny, isn't it? The whole plan was born during the Bush era, and now Trump's the one enforcing the deadline. I wonder why they needed him for that. Different puppet, same play. Look at what people are saying, the MAGA crowd, over this Real ID. Guaranteed if Biden enforced this deadline, what do you think Trump supporters would be saying right now? Or Kamala Harris? This is why they needed Trump in office. The golden age of surveillance is here. Now, why Trump? Why was he chosen to enforce the deadline on a plan that's been sitting around since the Bush era? Because he was the perfect front man to sell it. Wrap it up in a flag, nationalism, slap a bald eagle on it, and suddenly the most anti-government crowd on earth will line up to get federally tracked. And while they're cheering on strong borders and secure IDs, the real global agenda is being implemented across every nation, without question, without debate. Take this headline from Wired, published in December 2024. The paper passport is dying. They admit openly that smartphones and facial recognition are replacing traditional documents, creating a new kind of digital travel credential. And even though it raises major privacy concerns, they're still moving forward. Everywhere, countries around the world are acting in unison as if they're all working together on some kind of script here, phasing out physical IDs, replacing them with biometric surveillance tied to your phone, your behavior, and your access to life itself, the final ID solution.